In Strengths, we shall activate joy. Welcome to the Strengths and Joy podcast. Your host is Joy Leng. She's a superpower activator, and she's on a mission to empower leaders and entrepreneurs to accelerate their business performance by impacting positive leadership, sustainable performance, and well-being. How? By using the best of positive psychology and the Joy method. Joy has a background in positive organizational psychology, and the top superpowers are mission, drive, growth, and strategy. With these, she strives to inspire you with practical and science-based strategies. This show is made possible with the support of our sponsor, SuperPact.Asia. We all have our unique blend of superpowers. Now it's time to discover, activate, and amplify these strengths for the flourishing of selves and organizations. And now, it's time to jump right in with your host, Joy Leng.
Hello there. In Strengths, we shall activate joy. Welcome to Strengths and Joy podcast. My name is Joy. It is exciting for me to be back in a podcast, this time to share knowledge and my experience in strengths development and in applied positive psychology. My joy and ambition was to be an author and to be a radio DJ, all because of a radio clock that my mother bought for me. Hence, when I launched my first podcast, Shakti on Fire, it was like a double dream come true for me. Firstly, because that podcast was an extension of my autobiography, From Zero to Shakti. From Zero to Shakti podcast was a way to continue the conversations that started in my book about topics that touches everyone, such as vulnerability, self-love, forgiveness, and so on. That was 3 years ago, and I have always missed it. This time, I am back with the same motivation to empower people, but with a very different slant. For 2 years, I went deep and dedicated myself to education. I found out about positive psychology when I was finishing my diploma in psychotherapy. It felt right. It felt like the missing link that I was looking for the longest time as a life coach. Practical ways to support people that was science-based, that was not based on what I call Guru Sophie. After examining the concepts introduced in my positive psychology class for 10 weeks and reading up on Dr. Martin Solomon's books, I was completely sold. I did not hesitate to get the education I needed to arm myself with the knowledge to be an empowered people enabler. I took my graduate diploma in applied positive psychology and a postgraduate in positive organizational psychology and leadership simultaneously. It was a glorious time immersing myself in my top superpowers of love of learning and zest. I graduated deeply inspired and raring to go out and start empowering people with the new, exciting and practical knowledge that I have gleaned from the world of positive psychology. This podcast is a labor of love sprung from that desire. So for some months, I have been enjoying helping people to discover their strengths and to find out ways to activate and amplify their superpowers. I loved it. But at the same time, there was a quiet unrest within my heart. Something felt incomplete. Though I was enjoying what I was doing, it felt lacking in some ways. Then it dawned on me. It has been a real privilege to be able to learn about positive psychology with some of the pioneers in the field, being exposed to all the different aspects of the science, from well-being to resilience to growth mindset, the list goes on. Positive psychology is a relatively new science that most people are still foreign to. I get countless of confused looks whenever I mention it. People are sometimes bewildered by the term positive psychology. And the whole endeavor of positive psychology is to support everyone from leaders and CEOs to parents to the man on the street to flourish. It is designed to be practical and research-based. The two reasons why it got me so hooked. For all my education, I was only showing people a glimpse of its life-transforming potential. I was only focusing on strengths development. I believe that it is my responsibility to pass on the blessings, the knowledge that I was given in my positive education so that everyone can have a chance to find practical and scientific ways to achieve the happiness and success that they deserve. That was when I created the Joy Method. That was when it finally felt complete. The goal of the Joy Method is to use the best of applied positive psychology practices to help leaders and entrepreneurs to maximize their business performance by creating an impact on positive leadership, sustainable performance, and well-being. Why these three areas? Because they are intertwined and interrelated. You cannot have sustainable performance if well-being is not taken care of. Either can you be a positive leader if you and your team performance are unpredictable and you are not sure how to engage and energize your people on an intrinsic level. This podcast is based largely on what is taught in the Joy Method. The Joy Method underlying premise is strengths development. Alex Lindley, the CEO of Strengths Profile, said that using strengths is the smallest thing to make the biggest difference. When you discover and develop your strengths, you are being the best of you in a most effective and efficient way. What better way to be an inspiring leader who mold the best in people? Combining strengths development with other modules in the Joy Method, such as emotional intelligence, psychological capital, mindfulness, and so on, gives an even more potent fertilizer to create ongoing intentional growth in the areas of leadership, performance, and well-being. That makes Joy Method a way to create a leak of superpowers within yourself and in your team. This Strengths and Joy podcast endeavors to share all things Joy Method with you so that your personal well-being, work practices, and perhaps even family dynamics are powered up by practical and scientific methods. Given the unexpected COVID-19 pandemic, we have shuffled our plans for the podcast to touch about well-being first, before we dive deep into the world of strengths. In support of everyone's well-being, we will also be providing a free online well-being course, so stay tuned. News are mostly negative and fear-based at the moment. In an attempt to reverse the energy, we have also created a We Are Healthy, Well, and Connected Despite COVID-19 Facebook page to support people's well-being so that everyone can stay well, share resources and inspiration while embracing technology to continue to nourish relationships and to continue with our growth and development, such as this podcast. We're using the hashtag BeWell and OnConnect for this movement. These are all in support of the World Health Organization's shift from recommending physical distance to social distancing to help prevent transmission of the virus. They are changing to say physical distance, and that on purpose because they want people to remain connected. We are looking for more BeWell and OnConnect ambassadors who can share how they are taking care of their well-being and how they are using technology to stay connected with family and friends and for personal growth and development. The page will also share inspiring stories about the amazing ways that people are showing kindness and supporting each other all over the world. We will also share free resources given by individuals and companies in this COVID-19 crisis. So, Do like our Healthy, Well and Connected Facebook page, and better still, be our ambassador. So there you have it. Positive Psychology Podcast, free well-being course, inspiring stories and resource Facebook page. You are positively in good hands. Stay tuned for the next episodes where we will start on the 14 episodes of BeWell series, where we will dive deep into how to manage ourselves and stay well in this challenging time. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. People living strength-based lives goes beyond. They thrive. In strengths, we activate joy. Till the next episode, be healthy, be well, and stay connected. This is Joy signing off. Peace.
This episode of Strengths and Joy podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, SuperPact. For free resources and materials, head on over to www.superpact.asia. In Strengths, we shall activate joy.